10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
United
0.
the promised land.
Good morning, everybody. How are you all doing? Sam here at 10 a.m. instead of 9:30 a.m. But look, it's the new start time. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for patiently waiting. Let's get this show on the road and let's talk about Joao Felix in quite a bit of detail after confirmation from David Ornstein. The Manchester United are indeed interested in signing Joao Felix on loan in January. And of course, Man United want it to be cheaper. That's going to be the sticking point. I mean, who could possibly have predicted that? We've spoken about Joao Felix. Not with, I'll be honest, there's a lot of in the community about whether or not Joao Felix would be the right man. But we're going to talk about it in a little bit more depth today. I'm going to run through David Ornstein's comments over on NBC Sports and also his comments on the sale of Manchester United. We're going to run through those. What else have I got lined up? I'm going to speak about my video I did yesterday on Graham Souness. Yes, I enjoyed doing that one, and I think you enjoyed it too. We'll speak about Casemiro. Lisandro Martinez is back, so we'll speak about that. We've got Wolves coming up on New Year's Eve at 12:30. I hope we win that one. But look, how are we all doing? Let me see who's down there in the comments. Man Kudus, I see you there. How you doing, Paula? Good morning to you, Peter Walton. Anthony, good morning to you as well. Keem on Facebook watching from Dubai. And Mudashiru watching from Uganda. Good morning to you. Gungshi, Alex, I can see you all there. Josh, good morning to you. Michael Parsons, Raman, Shegsy, Gavin, Nathan, Maddie, White Knight, Daisy, Asan. It's a busy old section down here. It's busy as always. And I love I keep saying it every day, but I really genuinely, I love this community. I love doing this show. And I hope it keeps you all up to date with the daily, because it is quite difficult to actually keep on top of all the news, because it's just United, man. It's 24/7 news, right? So that's the main purpose of this show, is to watch this for an hour, and then you know everything that's happened in the last 24 hours. It brings you bang up to date. So I hope you do enjoy it. Make sure you drop a like on the video, and if you are new, make sure you subscribe. Oh, let me close that. Make sure you subscribe as well. Oh, man, look at that. Dom and Gungshi down there almost every day, man. In fact, it probably is every day. You're both legends, man. Gungshi, you're gifting 5 memberships, and Dom, you're gifting 5 as well. Brian Harlow, Gary, John, Graham, and Gavin, you're lucky 5 there from Gungshi and from Dominic. We've got Marin, we've got Darren, you've got, sorry, the names keep disappearing. Jeron, Owalabi, and Alex, you're there too, man. It is nice, mate. It's more than nice people in this community. It really, really is. Al Price, Jamie Lord, Jaleo, Roland, and Sam Lee. Good morning to all of you, man. Welcome to the community. Honestly, you want to stick around. I think I've said this before. I'll say it again. The next few months are going to be, it could be incredible. The next few months with the football that we're playing at the moment, if Ten Hag can keep it up, and more importantly, the Glazers selling Manchester United. That's what they're aiming for. But let's focus on the January transfer window first, and let's focus on Joao Felix. Cody Gakpo hasn't happened, right? He's now been signed by Liverpool. We know why that hasn't happened. Man United didn't have the finances to pay the money that PSV wanted up front. It wasn't much, but comparatively, I mean, 37 million up front is a lot of money, but not comparatively in the world of transfers. Liverpool, they paid it. And Rob Dawson from ESPN released this article yesterday saying, look, Liverpool's Cody Gakpo swoop, it frustrated Erik ten Hag. And we go down here and we read a little bit of this article. And of course it's going to frustrate him. Man United bosses told the club he is frustrated they could not secure the signing of Cody Gakpo, but remains hopeful a short-term replacement for Ronaldo can be found. Gakpo's imminent transfer to Liverpool, which has now happened, did not come as a surprise to Ten Hag, because obviously they share the same agent. But he's disappointed that United didn't go through with that deal. And of course he is. And anybody who suggests otherwise, let's not kid ourselves here. Just because Gakpo's gone to Liverpool, let's not all of a sudden pretend that it wouldn't have been a good signing for United, that Ten Hag didn't want him. We wanted him. I think it would have been a good signing. He would have been my preferred choice for a January transfer. It's not happened. Just got to suck it up. Ten Hag's pissed off about it. But I suppose there's an interesting point further down this article here where he says this. Look, Ten Hag is sympathetic to the budget constraints at United after United spending a hell of a lot in the summer. And I can semi-understand that because Man United's budget going into the summer transfer window was like 120 million? 120 million. We didn't have the budget for Casemiro and we didn't have the budget for Anthony. Then we lost the first 2 games. The Glazers were like, shit, we're going to need to protect the asset value of Manchester United. We can't afford another Europa League year. We're going to have to spend on the credit card. And that's where the budget changed. So we massively overspent in the summer in terms of what the budget was. We didn't massively overspend in the summer in terms of what you need to do in modern football to compete in the Premier League. But that's why we're now going to have a conversation about Joao Felix, about looking at the loan market. I've already done my video looking at all the loan options. Joao Felix was one of them. So was Memphis Depay, Choupo-Moting, Marcus Thuram, and so many others. But now we focus on Joao Felix. Mate, there's a couple. Look at that, man. Wow. Nathan, you've just gifted 5 memberships twice. And Alex, you've gifted 5 as well. Mate, dons. Absolute dons. I can't wait for the party that we're going to have when the Glazers sell United. I'll tell you that. Let me try and read the names out. Alex, are you another 5 down here? No, that's your original 5. Nathan, you've gifted 1 to Cameron Moodley, to Dada, Shubad, Stephen, and Sig. Make sure you all say thank you very much to Nathan down there. And I can't see the others, but wow. Honestly, it won't ever not surprise. Doesn't make sense. I will always be surprised and blown away by just how, I suppose it's a testament to how much people enjoy the community and the conversation. And I always said it. I always think it, but I said it this morning. Every time before I go live, I'm always there in the background, looking at the comments and just seeing everybody having like a proper, genuine conversation before the stream goes live. It's testament, man. People don't just come in the comments here just to shout and troll. They genuinely want to have a chat about United. And I think that's the main thing I really, really enjoy about this community. Oh, man, what are you doing? Why'd you always do this to me? You always make me look like I don't know how to react to this. I can't ever figure out how to react to this, man. Your support has always been there since the very, very start, man. Watching from Australia, always there on the early. When we were in the Legacy Arms, me and all had a chat before every single game. Didn't matter what time of the day he was watching it. A proper don of the channel, man. Continue to support it. Supported the merch as well. Big up to you all, man. And big up to every single one of you. Just helps make this community what it is. And as I said, the party that we are having when the Glazers sell this football club, it's going to be a special one. It really is going to be a special one. But man, you're the best, man. You're the best. Everyone's the best. Just positivity around here, right? So now I'm going to speak about the loan market and the fact that United can't afford any signings in January, which is slightly less positive, but it's the truth and the reality, right? We don't have the finances to fund the signings that we want in January. So we go into the loan market. But even in the loan market, we're searching for cheaper deals. And that's where this Joao Felix situation right now is at. So what I'm going to pull up now, I'm going to pull up the video of David Ornstein speaking about Joao Felix to NBC Sports. And then we're going to run through the latest from Paul Hurst from The Times. And we're going to have a little conversation about Joao Felix in the comments. But this is what David Ornstein had to say about Joao Felix and Manchester United.
Are they going to spend money in January?
I don't think there's much money to spend at Manchester United, so I don't want to disappoint fans, but it's most likely going to have to be a loan deal. Interestingly, they had admiration for Cody Gakpo. They almost signed him in the summer window. Erik ten Hag is a massive fan, but United are focused on a central striker for January, and they see Gakpo as primarily a wide forward. And therefore, they also are looking at somebody like Joao Felix, if they can do that loan deal. And there'll be a number of other options as well. I think Manchester United would always prefer to do their business in the summer. And I do think Erik ten Hag is quite content with what he has, but he would like, as he explained after the match the other night, to add in that forward line. And the only name I'm hearing primarily at the moment is Joao Felix, again, if the numbers come down on a loan basis. So it's a very interesting situation.
So that's David Ornstein there, confirming interest from Manchester United in signing Joao Felix. Now, David Ornstein, for me, he's your numero uno, right? He is the transfer guru. Fabrizio Romano might try and say he's number one, but David Ornstein really is the greatest when it comes to transfer news. When he speaks, there's always truth to it. Now, Joao Felix is an option that causes just as much debate as Cody Gakpo did, because Cody Gakpo was primarily a left winger. Do Manchester United need a left winger? No. Do Man United need a goal scorer? Yes. That's why I was always kind of supportive of the idea of Cody Gakpo. I could see Eric Ten Hag coaching him, improving him, and molding him into the position that he wanted. Now, Joao Felix, he's not a striker. Look, we take a look at Joao Felix's career, and if you watch Joao Felix play, you know full well, Joao Felix is not an out-and-out striker. In terms of his career and where he's played 32 times as a striker, 26 times as a left winger, and 14 times as a right winger, but primarily right there, 116 appearances as a supporting striker, a number 10, an aggressive number 10, not an out-and-out striker, which leads to quite a lot of United fans saying the same thing about Joao Felix as they were saying about Cody Gakpo. He's not what we need. He's not an out-and-out striker. We need a pure number 9. Now, I've always maintained personally, again, this is an interpretation. I've always maintained, I don't think that we're looking typically for, I don't feel that Ten Hag's looking for a Haaland type player. I think he wants someone to be a little bit more included in the overall team, rather than somebody who just hugs the box, effectively a goal scorer, if you want to call it like that. But Felix, as David Ornstein's confirmed there, Man United are interested, but only if the numbers come down. And this is, ultimately is the point we find ourselves in a similar situation to Cody Gakpo. Now, our delays in putting in the offer that PSV wanted allowed Liverpool to just sweep in, and they just got him for, as I said, a relatively cheap price. This is the situation with Joao Felix too. This is from Paul Hurst from the Times. This is what he's saying. Joao Felix is of interest to Manchester United, but United are unwilling to meet Atletico Madrid's demands. They want a loan fee of 8 million and also want any suitor to pay Felix's wages for the rest of the season in a deal which could cost around about 16 million pounds. A little bit more information on that. 16 million for Felix on loan would be too much for United, given that Atletico are insisting there will be no option to buy, including in the deal. Now, I don't personally see that being an issue. We're about to get new owners in. I mean, option, obligation, they're two different things. Obligation means, yeah, you're obliged to buy at the end of it if it's successful. Option means you do have the option. But Joao Felix was, let's be completely honest, right? Joao Felix was never really a fit for Atletico Madrid. He's a diminutive, creative, attacking flair player. And Atletico Madrid are, well, they're just a bunch of villains. That's the way they play football is really disciplined, really intense, and they're the kings of shithousery. I'm not saying that they're a bad football team, but it never really fit, did it? So the idea that they're going to put no option to buy, that they want to hold on to him, it's a bit weird. I imagine they want to cash out. But going a little bit further detail here from Rob Dawson again, he's actually suggesting that it could rise closer to 22 million euros, which is around about 19 million pounds. Either way, we are looking at a lot of money, really, for a player to come in on a short 6-month loan. Now, Alexandra, you're down there in the comments saying 16 million is too much. How we have fallen. I mean, not really. We're talking about spending 16 million. So if Paul Hurst is correct down here, right, and there's going to be no option to buy down there, then we're being asked to pay 16 million pounds for a player to play for us for 5 months, and that's it, and then he's just gone. So that's a head that, like, for any club, for no matter who you are, that's a lot of money. All right. So let's not try and pretend that otherwise. Omar, of course, we could have Coutinho. That was so weird. That was such a weird thing. And some people like genuinely, oh, we signed someone secret. No, it's just somebody who's trolling us. Somebody inside the Premier League. But that's a lot of money for Joao Felix. However, this is something that I immediately think of there. And it's really interesting that number there is 16 million. Now, all you're completely spot on down here, man. 16 million, if you get top 4 as a consequence of it, is an investment. You've got to spend money to make money, right? One of the rules of business. And given what's happening in the Premier League this year, Liverpool in the second half of the season, they're going to storm. They are going to be a significantly different team than they were in the first half of the season, right? Chelsea, I don't really know what's going on with them, so I don't really look at them. But then you've got Liverpool, you've got Arsenal, you've got Spurs, who have been a bit Spursy all season, and you've got Newcastle. It is a hyper competitive top 4 race this year. Now, Martin, exactly what you're saying there is exactly why I say this is a very interesting number. 16 million pounds for Joao Felix. Now, I can understand if Manchester... in fact, I can understand if Manchester United, because of what we spent in the summer, the idea that we were going to have a quiet January was a bit obvious, regardless of whether the Glazers were selling Manchester United. Add on top the fact the Glazers are selling Manchester United, and I can understand why there's not going to be any spending, and because I know how bad the finances are at the club. But when we went into the season, we had a budget that included Cristiano Ronaldo for a full season. And the idea there that 16 million pounds would be too much for Joao Felix, you know how much we saved by getting rid of Ronaldo and not having to sack him? Well, isn't that a coincidental number? 16 million pounds saved on Ronaldo's wages and anything that he was owed by the fact that we were able to sack him without paying off the rest of his contract. So that was part of Manchester United's budget going into the season. Cristiano Ronaldo was part of that budget, right? So therefore, the idea of getting rid of Cristiano Ronaldo, which we've already done, saving 16 million, and then instead spending that 16 million on Joao Felix, then the budgets are the exact same. So the budget for that is 100% there, which I find interesting. So that kind of really should be pretty much like Man United have that money. We had the money to pay Ronaldo until the end of the season because he was part of the playing staff, part of the wages. It was all built in. So that money is absolutely there for Joao Felix. It would probably be more a case of a principle thing, or the fact that Manchester United's finances really are insane, and they are, right? And I know they are. You know they are. We all know they are. The Man United's finances are in a really shit place. Maybe United are trying to just reduce that to try and make it slightly more sustainable as a business, because we're hemorrhaging money. We're losing money every single week, as somewhere between £2 and £2.5 million a week. And as I said, if you think that we've only got 24 million cash in the bank and we're losing 2.5 million a week, you can do the maths. That's 10 million a month. That means that cash is going to be gone in less than 2.5 months. That cash is going to go down to zero. Putting the ATM card, putting the card in the ATM, boom. Can't draw anything out. So therefore, you're relying just on overdrafts. That might be why we don't have 16 million for Joao Felix. But in terms of money we've saved from Ronaldo and the amount that we're hearing that Joao Felix is going to cost 16 million, United do have the money for that. Realistically, they might not, though. Anthony, let's not really few of your comments out down here. Listen, Sam, they want him off the books. That's 8 million. His transfer value won't drop if we play him. That's a win-win for them. Yeah, but pardon me. I think loan fees, I don't know whether it's just I've forgotten about it or just I never paid enough attention to it. A loan fee is like a new thing. Maybe not a new thing, but the size of the loan fees feel like a kind of new thing. I don't really remember the fees being involved. You would always cover the full wages of said loan, but now there's kind of loan fees on top. And maybe it's because it's post-COVID and that's happened. But I don't particularly remember substantial loan fees being added on top of wages. I don't know whether that's a new thing. Ray, you're saying, look, I will do the deal. You got Ray's got 16 mil. He's going to go and do the deal for us. 16 mil and you get money for your Champions League position and funds, league places and cup funds. If United are serious, they'll get the deal done. I mean, well, United aren't serious, are we? Not the Glazers. Not seriously. Well, they are serious about getting in the top 4. So maybe that is. Anthony's saying just shows the Glazers are more or less guaranteed to sell. I'm going to be speaking about David Ornstein's comments on that next as well. Don't you worry about that. Omar is saying it's normal for any club to charge a loan fee. We paid 5 mil for Dubravka. As I said, I don't know whether it was a new thing that had happened, but just feels like a lot. Feels like a lot to get his wages covered for the rest of the season and to add 8 mil on top. Just seems excessive. I will take no signing, says Michael, if it means the Glazers sell up. We all would. That's like a rhetorical question, but I don't particularly think that these two are related. The idea of getting a loan player in on loan or not shouldn't stop the Glazers from selling, in my opinion. That's what I think so anyway. Fred, you're saying if it's true about Ronnie's wages deal, we could tap him up for a loan. Oh my God. We'll bring Ronaldo back in on a reduced contract. It's a good point there in terms of how much Jorge? I think it's Jorge. Jorge Mendes would cost his agent. But I've already kind of questioned the idea that I think United should test the waters with Juve and Vlahovic. Go in there, try and offer his wages for the rest of the season, offer them a loan fee. Say, look, you're in dire straits. We can help if Man United could help balance Juve's books by somewhere in the region of 10 to 15 million pounds between now and the end of the season, that would help their financial troubles. I mean, it's a conversation to have. It's a conversation to have. Look, what else are you saying down here in the comments? As I say, look, I do try and be as interactive as possible here. If you fire in good comments, good questions as a community, I always try and include you. So make sure you drop a like on the video as well. Maltese, you're saying the worrying thing, Sam, is that Ten Hag hasn't tried any of the reserves in the striker positions. I don't think that's a worry, Maltese. I just think that's his decision because he doesn't feel that Charlie McNeil is ready to do it there. Who else could be? Joe Hugo, if you want to really go down into the reserves. But he doesn't feel like he's ready for that. So he's not going to be putting him for the sake of putting him in. He's made that abundantly clear, right? Ten Hag has said, I'm not going to sign a striker for the sake of signing a striker. And he won't put a youth player in for the sake of putting a youth player in. He'll put a youth player in if they are good enough to play in that position. And I think it's obvious at this point in time that he doesn't feel that Charlie McNeil is at that level just yet. And I'd agree. I think that Charlie McNeil needs a loan spell next year. A good loan spell in the Championship. I think that would serve him well. A bit like Amad Diallo now. Jordan, you're saying, other than Felix, who would you go for? As I said, I mean, look, Tardy's saying, couldn't that cost us more? I don't know what his wages are. I don't know. But if you're looking at about 16 mil for Joao Felix, then I don't really think it can't be that much more than that. There's no point in talking about Mitrovic, Greece. There's no point in talking about permanent deals. Any permanent deal for anybody. So I know that Marcus Thuram, for example, is somebody that we've spoken about as a community. He's available on a relatively cheap deal because Borussia Mönchengladbach have to sell him in the summer. We're not going to sign someone on a permanent deal in January. It's going to be a loan or nothing. Gavin is saying, what's the cost of the team viewer deal being pulled short? That contract was worth, I think, 270 million over 5 years. And the deal won't be getting pulled short until we get a new sponsor in. So that's the deal now that Manchester United have agreed with TeamViewer, that your contract can be terminated early as soon as we've found the replacement. And then they're going to be dropping their sponsorship of Manchester United to like single figures, somewhere between 1 and 10 mil. What are you saying down here in the comments? Link with everybody and sign nobody. Wow, that's kind of story United. Julie, how you doing? Don't worry about being late. There's so many of you down in the comments. I can't always read all your comments out. But Joao Felix, as I said, that's David Ornstein confirming our interest in him. I might do a full story on Joao Felix video, go out at lunchtime today, or I might do my Wolves starting 11 video. I haven't quite decided yet. But I'm definitely going to be doing more on Joao Felix. So that's the only name at this moment in time that we've got that concrete interest in. There's all the other names that I've spoken about. Memphis Depay, Choupo-Moting. I spoke about Marcus Thuram. I spoke about Mofi from Lorient. I spoke about quite a few players. But Joao Felix, at this moment, he's the one name that we know is a possibility. But it all revolves. We shouldn't be surprised. It all revolves around the finances. United don't want to pay what Atletico Madrid are asking for at this moment in time. Whether or not that changes, we'll find out. It's the 29th of December, right? The window's not even opened yet. But you're looking at Liverpool. They've already confirmed the signing of Cody Gakpo. You can get your deals done. You obviously just can't register that player to play for you until I think the January transfer window opens. So I think that means that Cody Gakpo can't play for Liverpool until January, until he's signed. But the second talking point from that interview with David Ornstein yesterday, and this is a bigger conversation, a more important conversation around the sale of Manchester United. He was asked, well, he wasn't asked about it. This is what David Ornstein said when he was speaking about the sale of Manchester United and the Glazers finally leaving.
But I think we need to remember, with the United sale here, the Rain Bank, who are in charge of this process, they're aiming for a complete sale of Manchester United in the first quarter of 2023. And therefore, the Glazer family are not going to be willing to sanction a massive outlay of cash on deals at this time of the year. And you've got to watch this space on that takeover, because it could be coming very soon, and it will be a seismic moment in the history of Manchester United, because so many supporters have wanted a change in the hierarchy at Manchester United. They've had so many changes on and off the pitch, but now it could go to the very top. And if Rain Bank, who are leading this process, get their way, it's going to be a fascinating few months ahead to see who takes charge, who takes the reins at Manchester United and leads them forward into the future. Eric Ten Hag's doing a good job on the pitch, but what's going to happen off it is perhaps the most fascinating question.
Fascinating question. That's a pretty good way to describe it, but I would just say just dead exciting. Just absolutely dead exciting. Now, David Ornstein there saying, look, watch this space. Something's going to be happening soon. Got tongues wagging. I got excited. You got excited. But David Ornstein's gone to Twitter to sort of explain and clarify what he meant by saying that. And he said, look, I was referring to the fact that the Rain Group are aiming for a full sale of Manchester United in the first quarter of 2023. So it was a watch this space on that basis, rather than him saying, look, I've got some inside info. It's going to be happening soon. Wait for it. Things will start to happen quickly, though. I know that it must have been about 5 to 6 weeks-ish, I think now, somewhere, since the Glazers released that statement saying that they were looking for strategic investment alternatives, aka the clubs for sale. And we want updates. But we won't really get updates because there's only a certain amount of information, and we've spoken about this quite a bit as a community. There's only a certain amount of information that the Glazers are legally obliged to go public with. That statement was one of them. Anything that will affect the position of Manchester United on the New York Stock Exchange, they will have to notify the New York Stock Exchange, or the Securities Commission, I think. They're two establishments that the Glazers they're held to their rules in America. It's a little bit complicated, but I think the next stage is when the Glazers get their financial advice completed in terms of the actual value of Manchester United. I think they've got to make an announcement to the New York Stock Exchange at that point. But we're waiting, I suppose, for the only official. Well, you can call it official. James Ducker saying that Jim Ratcliffe was going to put a bid in for Manchester United. I remember that happened quite soon after the Glazers statement came out. Alex, I suppose to try to explain that to everybody, Q1 is literally the first quarter of 2023. That's January, February, and March. So the Rain Group are aiming for that sale of Manchester United in that first quarter. So by the end of March, in an ideal world, the Glazers would have sold the club and Manchester United would have new owners. And if we get into that position, man, it's exciting what's coming up. Like, it is a problem for everybody else if Manchester United have got a set of owners that genuinely want to win everything. Because we haven't had that since 2005. Now, we had Fergie for 7-8 years, and his genius drove us through that. It's mad to think that. It really is. That Fergie was ever able to navigate all of that with the Glazers. And we even had our most successful period at that point from 2007, when we won 3 in a row. And we won the double. And we have Ronaldo. So as we have Ronaldo, which kind of helped. But it was amazing what he did. But now we haven't had ambitious owners for a long old time. And it's been terrible. But if we, by the end of March, have got owners who really genuinely want to win the league, who really genuinely want to knock City back down to where they should be, then it's going to be a problem for everybody else. It really, really will be. Because United, as I said, funds in the transfer market, we've wasted so much money. But funds spent correctly under Erik ten Hag, who as a manager has taken us really forward. And I was going to speak about this a little bit later in the show. Let me pull this up now, actually. I'm speaking about Ten Hag. There we go. Because look what we're doing on the pitch at this moment in time. Man United's last 14 games here under Ten Hag. Beating Sheriff away from home. Beating Everton away from home. Beating Sheriff. No, it's not Sheriff. Omonia, sorry. Rather than Sheriff. Beating Omonia at home. Drawing against Newcastle. Beating Spurs. Drawing against Chelsea. Beating Sheriff. There you go. Beating West Ham. Beating Sociedad. Although we got knocked out. Losing, of course, to Aston Villa, but beating them the next time 4-2. Beating Fulham, beating Burnley, and beating Forest. The last 14 games, United have got a fantastic record. And I'll tell you what, so far, if I'm correct, Ten Hag has had 23 games, and he's won 16 of them, which is a win percentage of 70%. 7-0 is Ten Hag's win percentage. And that, of course, includes those 2 abominations of Brighton and Brentford at the start. As a football team, we are headed in the right direction. We are on the right path with the right manager. I'm excited to see where we go next. And combine that with new owners. Man, it just really is an exciting few years ahead for United. We've had to sort of like deal with being in the mud and the swamp for a good old number of years now. Let's be completely honest. Been feeding off scraps. We've had so many false dawns. Just been up and then down again, then up again, and then down and down. But with Newcastle doing what they are doing, with everything that's happening in the Premier League, it's more competitive than ever. And that's why getting new owners in by the end of March, man. I mean, Judy is saying, look, you're finally excited again. Everybody is. And it's a really good time to subscribe to United People's TV. We've weathered the storm in these last few years, but now, man, I can't wait. I cannot wait for what is next. Wilderness, you're saying it's a decade, mate. It's a long old time. It is a long old time that we've just been out in the wild, and it's because of these. It's because of these fuckers, these unambitious leeches. As I said, terrible businessmen. Really are terrible businessmen. Who just happened to be sitting on the gold mine of Manchester United. But the well is dry now. The well is dry. Gavin said, when's the tree coming down? Not sure. I might keep up forever. I won't. The lights are off. Don't Christmas trees look sad with lights off? I think so anyway. The box. A striker is a must right now, and you missed the box. I missed the box as well. Maybe we can just keep the box all year and just randomly I can do giveaways. Maybe I'll do that. Why not? Just might need to take the tinsel off. But speaking of transfers, Enzo Fernandez is a player that we've been linked with, right? But a player that we don't particularly think that we can afford, and we can't, right? And until we get rid of these owners, right? Conversations like this are kind of irrelevant to link Manchester United with. Enzo Fernandez, we'd all love to sign Enzo Fernandez, but football, the transfer prices in football just they are just full on mad. Like 106 million release clause for Enzo Fernandez. Come on, man. River Plate have just signed him for 20 mil. Sorry, Benfica just signed him this season for 20 mil from River Plate. And you're looking at a 600% increase on his price in 6 months? Come on. Outrageous. But somebody will probably pay it. Chelsea will probably pay it. And that's why Enzo Fernandez, I love Enzo Fernandez, but until we get new owners in, Man United are excluded from these sorts of conversations. And that includes Jude Bellingham. Was he 12 million? My God, that's disgusting. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. Alex is saying, Sam, did all the prize winners claim their gifts? No, they have not so far. I need to go. I did a bit of checking yesterday, but if I'm correct, nobody's come forward for any of the. Let me check the list now that we're here. I've not heard from RD on TikTok. You won the 3. Let me go full screen here. It's a good question, Alex. Let me read them out now. So if anybody's watching, if you're one of these prize winners, you're gonna have to get in contact with me. RD from TikTok, you won the 3 Stan Chow prints on December 1st. You've not responded to me, so that's still not done. Every single person who won a Ronaldo shirt hasn't got in contact with me. That's Craig Hunt on TikTok, Newton Heath 84 on TikTok, and Luke Wilton from YouTube. None of you have claimed yours. The 5 Cantona sweater, that's Raz MUFC on TikTok. You've not got in contact. One of the United retro kits, that was Adam Cox. You won that on YouTube. You've not got in contact with me. SP19 on TikTok for a retro kit. You've not got in contact with me. Leave, and that's it. So there's quite a few of you who haven't claimed your prizes yet. Aussie Reaper saying, look, nobody wants the Ronaldo shirts. But look, if I might give them all to charity if nobody claims them. I think we've already spoken about that as a community, or I might do another draw. I'll have a think about it. I'm more inclined to give them to charity though. I'll be completely honest. But yeah, you're all the winners and you haven't claimed it. If you want it, you have to get in contact with me. As I said, I don't have the facilities to keep chasing you up. It's your responsibility. All right. Now let's move on to a more exciting topic. And yeah, I'm excited about this. I'm going full screen in this bad boy because look who is back in training for Manchester United. My boy is back. Lisandro Martinez is back in training at Carrington. And you know what? He's in contention to start for Manchester United against Wolves in 3 days. 2 days, actually, now. That's amazing. You know what's even more amazing, right? Is this. Laurie Whitwell confirming here. This blows my mind. So he's saying, look, Lisandro Martinez was back in training at Carrington. He only had 1 day of celebrating in Buenos Aires, then skipped a party for Tagliafico. I think he's getting married. And then he came home. And that's his former teammate, Tagliafico, as well, from Ajax. Only the long journey meant that he couldn't play against Nottingham Forest. That's mad. 1 day of partying for winning the World Cup. Geez, that dude is professional. Sorry. I would have got, I'm not a professional footballer, but I would have gone mad if I won the World Cup. And I would certainly be partying for more than 1 day. But Laurie Whitwell there saying that he partied hard for a day, then moved on. I mean, he's far more professional. Juan, you're saying I would have taken the full week. My God, I wouldn't have slept for like 4 days. Won the World Cup, guys. Come on. But look, I suppose it's kind of a testament to the professional, really, that Lisandro Martinez is. Right? And I think that's kind of is it a rule? That I might be making it up in terms of what Ten Hag feels. But, man, I can't wait to see him back. I really can't wait to see him back. He, for me, is just, I love Casemiro. I love Ten Hag. I love everything that's happening this season, but Martinez is my guy. You know that. Maddie saying that must have been, honestly, I thought it was, we spoke about this, I think, yesterday's stream. I was like, how bad is that hangover going to be for Martinez? Like 4 days. But no, apparently it was only 1 day, 24-hour bender. Move on. Skipping parties, flying back to Manchester United. But yeah, he's back here. He's trained. He's already training, and he's fit and in contention to start against Wolves. So that could mean that we have Varane and Martinez both back starting for Manchester United before the new year. Now, I didn't expect that. I did not expect that whatsoever. But after what was an extremely positive World Cup for United in terms of Martinez winning it, Varane getting to the final, Casemiro playing so well, Rashford, Maguire and Shaw all getting to the quarters as well. There was a lot of positives from that World Cup, which we spoke about in detail, but none more than Martinez winning it and coming back to Manchester United, a World Cup winner. And that mentality will be infectious. It absolutely will be infectious. And I can't wait to see what happens. Gavin, you're saying, when's his ban coming up? If you're talking about the game against Barcelona, that's not till February. Obviously, he's suspended for that game. Remember how he got suspended? That ridiculous yellow card against Sociedad that was not a yellow card. He just put in a good tackle and the player fell on him. In fact, even he might have even been fouled. I can't remember. But it was not a yellow card. Ronkin, you're saying you need that hoodie of the Butcher. I love that hoodie, man. I love that design. I really, really do. I thought I had it on the wall. I don't have it on the wall. I might be bringing out a new design as well on the merch for World Cup winning Martinez. Haven't quite decided yet. Rahman is saying, look, Gvardiol in Martinez DM. Keep Martinez where he is at his best, and he's at his best as a centre-back. Let's not be moving him. But Gvardiol, man, whoever buys him, they've got a signing. 20-year-old, obviously the Croatian centre-back in the team of the World Cup, deservedly. Yeah, man, he's going to go for like way in excess of 100 mil. Again, it's not a conversation that United can really genuinely be considered a part of until we get new owners in. Josh is saying we should be able to dispute that yellow card. No, Dale, and that you can't ever dispute yellow cards. I don't think. Might be completely wrong in the rules of football, but I don't think I am. So that means that Martinez is banned for that game against Barcelona. So let's just hope Varane stays fit. Because if Varane's not fit and Martinez is out, then we're looking at Lindelof and Maguire as a centre-back partnership away at Barcelona. And that is not what we want. Thoughts on Maguire being behind Luke Shaw? No, Maguire was ill. If Maguire, obviously, that we got hit with illness that week, it was with Maguire, with McTominay, with Lindelof. If Maguire wasn't ill, he would have started at centre-back. He's not behind Luke Shaw in the pecking order. Luke Shaw just stepped in like Casemiro stepped in. So, yeah, I don't think he's behind him at all. Swap deal for Guardiola. Yeah, man. Maguire would be a great player for Leipzig. Little swap deal. They can have Phil Jones as well as a little bonus. Yeah, come on. I mean, it seems reasonable. It just seems like a good deal. Not outside the realms of possibility. And I'll be honest, he did play pretty damn well. He I have to say, Shaw played well. Now, it was Nottingham Forest, yes, I know. But Shaw did play pretty well. What are the talking points we got on here? Oh, yeah. Let me finish on one more video for you. Enjoy the next minute and 16 seconds of your life.
You're getting a steady Eddie. He plays where I used to play, and obviously I'm going to talk up that position. I think there's a lot of work that maybe the untrained eye doesn't see, filling spaces, preventing passes into his two central defenders behind him. But I don't think... He was playing with great players. He's not a great player. He's never been a great player. I see him as being a steady Eddie who will help United be more solid in the midfield. I don't think he's got any great range of passing. I don't think he's going to make other people play. The Real Madrid team, in that midfield especially, that was full of footballing types. I see him as being a steady Eddie, and that's a
steady Eddie. 70 million plus for a steady Eddie.
Well, I come back. He's 30 years old, and it's 70 million. You know, it's 60 with add-ons going to 70. Too much money. It's Man United all over again. Man United will pay a premium for players. It's Man United and it's the Premier League, and people know it's a wash with money. But I don't see him make them any better when they have the ball.
Oh, man, I was cracking up when I was doing that ending. I was cracking up. And I was cracking up whilst making that video. Like, Graham Souness is just... It's just like Graham Souness should probably go to a party with like Andy Gray and Richard Keys. Those three just like sit around the table, just being dinosaurs that they are. Absolutely irrelevant. Whereas all the rest of us, with logic, who can watch football, can massively see how important Casemiro has been to Manchester United and how sort of central, quite literally and metaphorically, he has been to this sort of turnaround. And there's a couple of stats that are included in this article from the Times, which kind of sort of show that change. And so Manchester United have only lost one league match in which he started. And look at how different Manchester United are in terms of shots conceded and goals conceded. So 2 per game when Casemiro doesn't start drops to 0.75 when he does start. Nearly facing 5 shots per game without him drops to just over 3 with him. And that part there in the video where Graham Souness is like, oh, he doesn't have a passing range. I'll be honest in saying here myself, I didn't realize how good Casemiro's passing range was until he joined Manchester United. I signed him. I didn't sign him, but I was over the moon that we signed that bloke there because I was like, we've genuinely got a defensive midfielder, one of the world's best, arguably the world's best. But I didn't realize how good he was at progressing the ball. And this has been probably one of the most pleasant surprises about Casemiro. And look, Casemiro has the 5th most shot-creating actions per 90 minutes in this Manchester United team. Look, who's number 1, by the way. By far and away number 1. Bruno is our guy. And look at that. Jadon Sancho's number 2. And Anthony's number 3, above Christian Eriksen. That's quite interesting. But Casemiro there is 5th. Our central defensive midfielder. He's not exactly what you were just saying there, Gardaview. He's not just a central defensive midfielder. He really is, as Alex is saying, a proper all-round midfielder. He really is somebody who he's got a bit of everything to his game. That's what's surprised me the most and what I've enjoyed the most. And that's why I did that video. Graham Souness had the confidence to say that shit on like the 22nd of August, which is, I think, was about a week after Jamie Carragher wrote Lisandro Martinez off. And I'm very anti knee-jerk reactions. It just pisses me off. I know it's the easiest, it's the low-hanging fruits of saying stuff online, is to go hard and heavy really quickly. Be the first to say something outrageous. And then when it's proven correct, you can be like, well, look, I told you first. If you're going to be bold enough to say dumb shit like that, then expect it to come round and slap you in the slap you on the arse? No, probably bite you on the arse when it doesn't work out. And it's exactly what's happened here with Graham Souness and his just complete dismissal of Casemiro as a footballer, and for Jamie Carragher with his complete dismissal of Lisandro Martinez. I tell you what, they went after the wrong 2 players, didn't they? They really, really did. Because if you're looking at this spine of Manchester United, you're looking at Martinez and you were looking at Casemiro really as the 2 cornerstones of this new spine. And they're the 2 players that they went after. Fucking hell, lads. You idiots. Absolute idiots. And that's why I did that video. And I love that slap at the end. That cracked me up. Let me read a few of your comments down here. Mate, steady Eddie. What a ridiculous comparison that was. Maddie, it really is that. And that's what an agenda is. When you're just blinded by somebody's qualities and positives because you're so brainwashed by a certain way of thinking that you just can't see anything else. Even if all the evidence is staring you in the face, you can't see it. That's what an agenda is. Anybody, as always, last couple of minutes of every show, you fire in any questions you want and I'll answer them. It can be about football, it can be about anything else. I mentioned that in the video yesterday as well. It's just good to see United playing the way we are. As I said, 70% win rate for Ten Hag is great. Now we've got Wolves coming up, then Bournemouth, and then I think it's City, and then Arsenal, I think. But Wolves and Bournemouth, if we can get 6 points from there, we're going to be in such a good, strong position going into those two big games. And we're playing City and Arsenal in 2 weeks? It's tough. Yeah, I reckon Graham Souness could blame, I don't know, climate change on Paul Pogba if he tried. What do I do in my spare time? Well, that's my spare time. I don't tell you that. I watch a lot of football. Everyone, come on, we all watch football. We all watch 24/7 football, don't we? Where will we finish this year? I'm hoping 4th. I really am hoping 4th. I fear that what we do in January will probably define whether we can finish in 4th, because I know at some point in the season, this squad's going to get hit with injuries. We're going to get hit with injuries up front again. We're going to be without Martial again. We may even be without Rashford at that point in time as well. We need another. Joao Felix might not be the player I want, but if I'm faced with 2 options of nothing or Joao Felix until the end of the season, then I'm taking Joao Felix. I still don't know whether he'll be the right thing or not. Player, sorry. Is the official starting time? No, John. The reason I always end up going at 9:33 is because, as I said, the reason I've made this show half an hour later is because it's tough to get everything out, because it's a bit different. I get everything open on screen, pull it up for you so you can see what I'm discussing and running through. So it takes a bit longer than just writing some notes down and just speaking about that. But give me an extra half an hour should mean I can start more towards being on time. Omar, I'll do that in the video that goes out either today or tomorrow. I'll leave my prediction for there. Well, who is your preference on ownership, American or tech companies? My preference is to stay the fuck away from an American consortium, first and foremost. That would be just the ultimate no-no for me. That's the one that I can't get along with. Past that point, I think there's a moral obligation to understand everything that we possibly can understand about who that new owner is, whether that would be Dubai, whether that would be Saudi investment, whether that would be Qatari investment, whether that would be Amazon or Apple or everything. There will not be a perfect owner. But it has to be the right owner for Manchester United that has ambitions of taking this club to where we should be. But my only complete and utter no-no is an American consortium. Because fuck that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Do you think we can finish 4th without? Yeah, I do think we can. I wouldn't completely dismiss our chances of finishing 4th without signing a new striker, because we played the first half of the season without a striker. Ronaldo was a ghost. Martial was injured. So if Martial can stay fit, and that's always the big caveat, then we will be better off. Rashford, he's on fire at this moment in time. If he can keep that up, that won't last. Of course it won't. But Jadon Sancho, maybe he can come back in, I don't know. I'm not expecting to see Jadon Sancho in January. But if we can then from February through to May have Jadon Sancho firing again, that's going to be I do think we can finish in the top 4 without a new signing. But it's going to be tough. And as I said, we've got to improve our options. Get off the fence, Sam. Who's going to buy the club? As I said, I don't know who's going to buy the club. The reason I did that interview with Nick McGeehan is because I've just felt at that time that I can't see anything apart from Middle Eastern investment buying United. So I still think Dubai is the most likely. But we've heard nothing since then, so we don't really know. And Charles, there's no news on Jim Ratcliffe. And my instinct is that if Jim Ratcliffe is going to buy the club, he's going to have to go into a consortium with somebody else. He's going to have to go into a partnership with somebody else, whether that would be Dubai, maybe that would be Saudi private investors. I don't know. But I don't particularly think that Ineos and Ratcliffe would buy Manchester United and compete with everything that needs to be competed with now. Look, thank you very much, everyone, for joining in. I hope that the half an hour delay in the stream doesn't make it too bad for you. Hopefully it might work out for some of you who watch from different time zones all around the world. But thank you all for joining in. Or Nathan, Alex, Dominic, all of you who gifted memberships, thank you so much. And everybody who's just been gifted a membership, I always ask this, join the community. Let me just drop the link to the actual community down here. right now. This is for everybody. Where is it? That's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. Where is it? There. Everybody who's watching, thank you very much for tuning in. That's the link to the Telegram community. Come and join. It's free to join. Just download Telegram first and then click that link. And if you're a member, go to the community tab on YouTube, on the United People's TV YouTube. Click community. There's a private link in there for members only, and you can join the members only chat. That's one of the main perks of becoming a member. You can come into that part of the community. But big up to everybody. Thank you all for tuning in today. I'll be here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Remember, that's the new start time from now on. And I'll have my lunchtime video out today. It's either going to be a full story on Joao Felix or my starting 11 video for Wolves. Haven't quite decided yet, but I'll decide in a bit. Thank you all. Take it easy.